We've gone from a one-page form that you send in when you need to change your address, which is actually most people can do it online now through your My USCIS account. And all you had to provide was your name, basic information, your date of birth, country of citizenship, a number, maybe a receipt number, so that they can make sure they have the right person. And then your new address. That's it. I mean, all non immigrants are required to update their address with USCIS within 10 days of a move. So it should be a simple process like going to the post office to update your address. Now they've turned it into questions such as what port of entry did you enter at? What was your date of entry? When will your status expire? Provide your receipt numbers for all immigration benefit requests. Your employment and education information. They want to know who your current employer is and where they're located, or if you're in school, what's the name of your school and the address of the school. And then they have about I don't know, 7 pages of questions about public benefits, clearly related to the public charge issue when it comes to a ground of inadmissibility. And they have all these yes or no questions about whether you've gotten any kind of welfare, and then a list of 7 fields where you can list what welfare benefits you got, which of course doesn't really come into the picture for most people watching this. But the fact that they feel the need to ask all of these questions for a simple address change is just more of that extreme vetting. What are they going to do with all of this information? In my opinion, the target of this form is undocumented immigrants, so that they can get their addresses and find out if they have used public benefits, and they can then figure out how to more easily target them for deportation. But it does just create more hassle and confusion for legal immigrants when you're having to provide all of this information. What if when you move, you're in between jobs, or, what if there's an issue with your status, or your I-94 or something happens while you are in the process of moving? Is it safe to fill out and submit this form with all this additional information? I will say that, go ahead.
I mean, first of all, this is proposed thing. Most probably it's going to go through. And unfortunately, I mean, I have to advise people to fill this one whenever there is an address change. And I would also say that even for a green card holders, you are previously, we have never seen any of this one getting enforced. I've never seen anybody getting deported or having in trouble because of not filling the AR11 form. However, though, I want everybody to fill a AR11 form when they change the address. So, for example, every time they have an address, I would rather recommend people right now to have the address change. Now, for those people who have not done address change, even if you're a green card holder, F1, H1, any other non-immigrant visa people, please fill the AR11 right now, because when the new AR11 comes in, then it's going to be much stricter. Now, even though you may not have filled the AR11 after you change the address, even if it's been more than 10 days, I would rather recommend you do it right now. Do you say anything different than what I say, Emily?
No, I totally agree with you. What is your recommendation for like F1 students? I see a lot of times when their parents are here on a non-immigrant work visa, the student came on a dependent, like an H4 or an L2 or something like that. They've been here their whole life. Now they've changed status to F1. A lot of times they keep their permanent address as their parents' address, and they don't really update their AR11 form. They don't really provide their dorm address or anything like that, or their apartment temporarily while they're in school. Would you say those students now need to fill out the AR11 every time they move?
I think so. Yes, that's my
Yeah.
advice. Now, however, though, when it comes to the education, there are a little bit, there are rules where it says that if, leave the F1 visa people out. If it's a US citizen going and staying, and your son is, let's say, staying in Atlanta, Georgia, Emily, after 1 year, he cannot claim the local resident status because he is there for the student purposes, is that right? So, but
Mhm.
still, when it comes to the F1 visa people, though, I would recommend that if you're staying in a dorms, do change the AR11 right now. So this is a warning for everybody right now. Whoever has not filled an AR11 form, if you're an F1 visa, if you're an H1 visa, if you're a green card holder, if you're any non-immigrant visa, we want you to fill the AR11 right now. Now, there are a lot of people who came into the United States. They have never filled the AR11 form, saying that where they are staying, they did not inform the USCIS. We want you to right now, you can go to AR11, you can fill it out. It's so easy. Even if it's more than 10 days, the rule says that you have to fill the AR11 within 10 days from the time you change the address. Even though if it's more than 10 days, we want you to fill it right now because we don't know what this government will do it. Is there a chance that when you go outside the country, when you're coming inside the country, they may say, hey, where do you stay? And you say that you are staying in Atlanta, but you, on the contrary, the documentation does not say that you're staying in Atlanta. It may say that you're staying in Houston, Texas. We don't know if they would deny the entry. What if they will create a problem in when you go for the driving license? We don't know. So at this point of time, what the implementation is. So please fill the AR11. It's just you go to the AR11 site in the USCIS, you fill it out, you can submit it right now.
Yeah, and you can list, so the AR11, what they want is your physical address, so where you are actually staying and living. You have the option to also include a mailing address. So in the F1 student example I provided, you can provide your parents' address as the mailing address if they're in the US on a non-immigrant visa. So that important documents or any mail from USCIS still goes to your permanent address while you provide your temporary physical address in the form as well. So be aware that you can specify a mailing address separate from your physical address, but anytime you physically move, you need to fill out the AR11 within 10 days. And do it now before the form gets more complicated.
Emily, this question from Anirban has a very interesting question. My address has not been changed in my last H1B and AOS filing. Is the AR11, does it apply for him? By filing a H1B, by filing an adjustment of status, are we complying with the AR11 or do we need to file AR11 separately? My answer is
Yeah.
you have to file it separately.
Yep.
AR11 is a separate application. You informing the immigration by the H1B saying that you're staying in Houston is not enough. We want you to file the AR11. You have any doubt whether you need AR11 or not, just fill it out right now. Emily, is that a good question?
Yeah, absolutely. It is very important to understand that filing any application, an I-539, an I-765, a 485, a 129, an I-140, all those things that you guys file routinely, none of that meets the requirement of notifying USCIS of your physical address, and that has to be done only through the AR11. So don't assume that by filing something else that you've notified them of your new address.
Interesting question. What about the B2 people? They're asking the question. They come into B2 and they stay in a particular address. Do they need to file the AR11? My recommendation is just file the AR11 right now, even for B2 applicants.
Yep, I agree.
So anybody, if you have never filled the AR11 form, you fill it out right now. If you have filled it previously, and if your address has changed, you need to file AR11. These are the two simple rules for the non-immigrant visa people and for the green card holder people. Simple. If you do not fill the AR11 ever in your life, if you're a non-immigrant visa and if you're a green card holder, I want you to fill it right now. And if you had filled it previously, one more time, I will repeat again. If you change your address, whenever you might have changed the address, I want you to file the AR11 right now because we don't know how the government is going to implement the rules. What if the B2 visa person did not fill the AR11 form? Then he goes outside the country and he comes back in. You did tell us where you stayed, so we are going to deny the entry. Could they do it? We don't know. Yes, we may fight this case for you. We can go to court for you. You can spend all this money for you. But would you rather have us fight for you or maybe just resolve the problem just for filing the AR11? I would rather file the AR11.
Absolutely. All right, green card applicants, are people going to have to consular process now and apply for their green card at the consulate, attend their interview for the green card at the consulate going forward?
Even though we got this memo on May 21st, 2026, Emily, that they may implement more strictly, saying that why you are not applying the adjustment of status. I have not seen yet implementation of this one. There are some very rare cases, especially when they are really not good cases at all. I mean, the case that only I saw an RFE was that that gentleman was illegally staying for a period of 10 years. Now that person has now married to a US citizen and then filed the adjustment of status because he entered legally, but he worked illegally for a long period of time. That's where they issued those kind of RFA. But in general, though 99% of the cases, I have not seen any problem. After that, I have a lot of my clients went to the interview. I had no issues. I had people who are parents of parents of US citizen that went for the interview, spouse of US citizen that went for the interview, green card holder spouse went to the interview, employment based applicant and the dependents went for the interview. Nobody yet has been asked any question on why you want to do the adjustment of status here. So at this point of time, we are not in danger on this one, but we definitely want people to keep coming to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our blog. If there is any change, we will inform you on that.
All right, next topic, OPT delays. We're definitely seeing delays for a lot of people. This kind of started with cases that were part of the adjudications pause for the list of countries that, they basically just said, we're not going to adjudicate your applications until we do all of our whatever public safety checks or whatever they're trying to do. That was, of course, struck down by a court. But even people who are not from those countries are experiencing long delays in OPTs. I had a consultation just yesterday with someone who has the job offer, has had it for a couple of months, and they keep having to push back their start date because they have not received their initial OPT yet. Same thing for the STEM extension. So I would say file it in premium processing is your number one rule because, obviously it's more expensive, but it is worth it. That being said, some cases, even with premium processing, are going with beyond the premium processing time frame. That makes it a little bit more difficult, but it's certainly not across the board. So most people are able to get it within the premium processing time frame. So that's your number one option to avoid these long delays.
Emily, filed my OPT. I didn't file in premium processing. Can I convert into premium processing? Same question. I filed my STEM extension. I didn't file in premium processing. Can I convert it to premium processing right now?
Yes, you can. And if you filed the I-765 online through your My USCIS account, you can do the upgrade online as well and get it done immediately.
And if you do it manually, you can even upgrade it premium processing. Either way, you can upgrade it to premium processing. Had no problem at all.
Yeah. And remember, for STEM extensions, you do have the 180-day automatic EAD extension. The problem is if you file, close to when your OPT is expiring, they're taking more than 6 months to process in regular processing. So we are seeing a larger number of people than ever who are running out of their automatic extension and still have not received the new card. So again, premium processing upgrade is your route there, but don't wait till the last minute to do it, because with OPT premium processing, the time frame is not 15 days, it is 30 business days. So it can take more like 6 weeks to get your OPT. So don't wait until you're a month away from, your automatic extension expiring and then upgrade. You need to do it at the 2 month mark at the latest, so that you have enough time in case there's an RFE on top of that.
And moving to the last topic, that we have seen the secondary inspection. Other than when you come into the airport, there is a CBP officer and you normally come in, but there are sometimes they go to the secondary inspection. What kind of questions are expected there? Can they search? I'm speaking of non-immigrant visa people, though. I'm not speaking of U.S. citizens and green card holder. Can they search the WhatsApp? Can they search the emails? Can they search any of the other files and documents that they have before letting the person in?
Absolutely. Now, they you have the option to refuse to allow them to do that, but then they're going to deny your entry. So if you want to be actually given a chance to enter the US, you really have no choice but to let them search your phone. And so they're looking through emails, they're looking through bank statements, they're looking for anything that suggests that you may be violating your status. Maybe you're working when you're not supposed to be working. If they think that, if you're coming in as a tourist, but you have plans to do social media influencing and get money from all of your, things that you're posting on your social media, they can look at all of that in secondary inspection, and they can use any of that to not only deny entry, but potentially put you through expedited removal, which means that they're denying your entry and they're issuing a 5-year bar for you to be able to come back. So you need to make sure that your, number one, everything you're saying at the port of entry is truthful, and that any documents and information and details in your phone matches that truth, so that there's no inconsistencies, nothing suggesting that you are doing things you're not supposed to be doing when you're coming in as a non-immigrant.
OPT and stomach extension people, we want you to be very careful when you are exiting the country and coming into the country. You need to carry the record, especially if the OPT people, they are allowed to do an unpaid internship. However, some of the officers may not be aware of it. And sometimes what happens is that the unpaid internship sometimes is going to create a problem. Hey, this doesn't look like an unfair internship job. It looks like a job, but you're actually not getting paid. I've seen the denial of the entry at the port of entry. I have seen people getting denied for unpaid internship because the officers did not understand what it is and they denied the entry too. So definitely, we are advising people on OPT and STEM extension not to travel at all. Even though they have a visa stamping, we are advising them not to travel.